최고.
You know, I know it's only the 4th episode of this project, but I think I've already found an epic plot twist in this game. There's no way Cacletta can be the true evil of anything here. Just look at this face. It's obviously these statues that are behind everything. And do you want to know how I was able to figure that out? Because I'm the best Let's Player you've never heard of, and this is more Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. Last time, we had one final encounter with the thing. I don't really know what species Tolstar could be considered, so I'm just going to call him a thing. Then we made it to Hoohoo Village, where we learned that in order to progress into Bean Bean Kingdom proper, we are going to need hammers. And then we learned that we need Hoohoo blocks to get hammers. And then we learned that we needed to be on top of this mountain to get Hoohoo blocks. So we're going to be on top of this mountain now. That's probably not the best way of explaining that. But, either way, extinguishing both of those fires will give you access to 2 different things. Then you can hit that to make the watery thing from there that we couldn't access before start to spout. Spout? Spout? Is that a word? I would not think spout would be a word. I'm going to skip that block. I know it doesn't have anything important in it. Also, I guess it would be sort of important to mention that I did kill the enemies in those 2 areas with the water, or with the fire things off screen, just so I didn't have to go through the bother of having to fight them. And I also healed both Mario and Luigi fully with mushrooms, but I don't think that really would have too big of an impact on my supply, considering I had 26 before I healed them, so I still have 24. I'm not really that worried about ever running out of mushrooms, because, you know, you can never have too much mushroom. Don't know where I was going with that again. But you want to put the fire out, and then when you put the fire out, the thing is going to do the thing. And when the thing does the thing, that does that thing, and then you do that thing. And then that thing. And then that thing. And then Hoohoo Mountain Trail goes that way, but we don't want to go the right way. Do we want to go the right way? I mean, yes, we do want to go the right way eventually, but you do want to get the 1-up mushroom, which, in case by the name you wouldn't be able to guess, is indeed your revival type item. Using one will restore you back to... well, restore a KO'd bro back to half health. Now, there's kind of no way to go here, so you talk to the creepy stone thing with glowing eyes, right? Ah, travelers, I'm Hoohooros, the ancient weapon of the Hoohoo civilization. Beyond this point, the path grows even cooler. You must prove yourselves up to the challenge. Dare you try this challenge? You must start now, and you must catch 10 Hoohoo spirits within 30 seconds. Do not fall off the ledges, or you will immediately... you know what I mean. So, yes, this is a spin jump puzzle. It's actually harder than it looks. Some of them you will always be screwed out of getting. It's semi-luck based, just based on where the Hoohoo spirits decide to appear. As you can see, I'm already doing worse than I should be. If they appear like 2 spin jumps away from where you are, there's a very real chance of you not getting it, of course. Yes! First try! That took me like 20 minutes in my practice file. Now for your next challenge. You must defeat me! Ah! And then he just goes underground and comes out different looking. Let us begin. He hides under that column. What you want to do, believe it or not, is to destroy the pillar that he is not in. And he will just shoot a laser. Then you want to destroy the pillar that he is in, because he can only regenerate 1 pillar per turn. Which means there will be one turn where he will always be vulnerable to attack, considering that you can only hurt him, you only hurt the pillar when you hit the pillar. You can only hurt Hoohooros when he's actually exposed. And then he'll do that, and it's a really repetitive fight. Not to say it's that bad, it's just repetitive, and it's repetitive. Considering you could screw him into an infinite loop just by doing this. And there's actually a decent chance of me being able to do this without taking a hit. Only problem is going to be I'm going to be completely wasting BP. Also, keep in mind the fact that this is the mid-boss of Hoohoo Mountain. I mean, yes, we're already there after less than an episode, counting the fact that the first half of the other one was not. Whoops, I did the wrong pillar there by accident. Oh well. Excuse me. And also, the lasers are really easy to dodge. And, yeah. So, there we go. I thought I did it wrong for a second. That could have been bad. So, yes, this is the mid-boss of Hoohoo Mountain. This area, I can't really call it a dungeon, since it's not a dungeon, does have two bosses. This being the first, obviously. Oh, you're starting from the bottom, spicing things up a little. Actually, no! I attacked the pillar! I just wasted 4 BP attacking that. Great. Oh well. Guess I'm stuck doing half damage too. I might speed this up, not sure. Just because later boss battles actually, dang it! Change their tactics. Actually, I may have figured out an even faster way to do this. By constantly attacking the other pillar. Also, like the Bill Blasters, top pillar only attacks Mario, bottom pillar only attacks Luigi from what I know. Hoohoo does the sweeping laser, so it changes. And there we go, he's already down. That wasn't too bad. Not as fast as Tolstar, I will say, but at least with Tolstar I was able to wreck him entirely with Rose attacks. Let's level up defense on Mario. Don't know if Luigi will get a level up too. Luigi takes longer to level up than Mario does. You've passed this test too. Now you must face the test of reaching the summit. So this whole thing's a test. I thought I could escape school by going home and recording. But nope, that's not how life works. But what is very nice about the game, since there's no Healy houses or hotels anywhere, or anything of that nature, you do get fully healed after fighting every boss in the game. Even Hoohoo, which is the mid-area boss, instead of giving you a save, or the save point that heals you, or something like that, they just heal you with no explanation whatsoever, which is nice that they heal you, but I would have preferred an explanation, and in fact, something very interesting for an RPG. Yes, the Mario and Luigi series is made mostly outside of Japan, but something that's I still find incredible is the fact that the Japanese version of this game was actually easier than the American version. Enemy stats were lower in some small cases, and they were heart blocks, like the ones from Paper Mario in the game, where if you hit it, you would be able to heal yourselves fully. Those do not exist in the North American and PAL versions, or I'm just going to call it PAL, because PAL, and PAL versions of Superstar Saga. So the North American version is actually harder for once. Thought that was interesting, but more importantly, we found a new enemy in the Rex. These return from Super Mario World, and like there, it does not necessarily take 3 stomps to defeat it, but whenever you jump, the lower they get, and the lower they are, the easier it is to dodge their attack, like there. And when they're at their highest point, it's actually impossible to dodge. So I thought the first strike jump that you can get, for some reason, would actually lower it, but that didn't lower it. Luckily, jumping on them, I would have found it very interesting if there's Luigi's level. If there are not upgraded versions of Rexes later on in the game. There are upgraded versions of some enemies, even the ones that we've seen already. Not that I'm complaining about there being upgraded versions of old enemies in an RPG. I'm used to it by now. Pretty much every RPG I've played outside of Pokemon does this. And even then, you're just fighting evolved forms of Pokemon you've already beaten, so in a sense, you are just fighting upgraded versions of previous enemies. But I would have... I'm just saying this would be a decent design choice. For the upgraded Rex, it would, like... Let's see if I can get through there. No, I cannot. I have to find water. I need to find a water. I can't find a water. That's not good. It would have been interesting if the... Anyway. It would have been interesting if the upgraded version of the Rex actually, like... Or not jumped. When you jumped on it again when it was in its most compressed form, it would pop back up and become tall again. I always thought that would be an interesting thing to do. I actually am kind of stuck here. I don't remember what I'm supposed to do. There's a very real chance that was not the right way to do it. So we're just gonna say that was. And good God, Mario's cheeks right now are really scaring me. And I screwed that up. Not as badly as I expected I did, but I still screwed it up. Not that I'm surprised that I screwed something up. This is what happens when you don't practice file. No, wait, what am I saying? I think I mentioned practice file, like, literally 5 minutes ago, just before we fought Hoohoo. No, when you don't research in your practice file. My practice file was a regular playthrough, and it was the only playthrough I've ever done before this. So there's that whole aspect, and the fact that I have actually not defeated the final boss ever. Which I'm kind of worried, because it is a very difficult boss unless I just need to grind to be able to beat it. I wouldn't be surprised if I just had to grind and I could beat it easily, but I'm still finding some of the attacks jerkishly difficult to dodge. At least it doesn't have insta-kill attacks, is the one thing that I can completely not hate. Not trying to name names from other games. That was not intentionally a rhyme. But I was going out of my way to not reference Bravely Default again, but in a way, just by saying that I wouldn't reference it, I did, so I give up. Let's just jump on a skeleton turtle. So now, from now on, in battles with Rexes in them, on the first turn, you're always going to want to jump on each Rex at least once. And believe it or not, the Dry Bones, which literally a minute ago, before we fought Hoohoo, were actually difficult enemies, they're now the ones that you want to save for the end of the fight, because they're the easiest ones to pick off when you're done. Except, I mean, once you jump on a Rex once or twice, they're kind of total pushover. Interestingly, their defenses don't go down every time they get stomped, but, you know, it's a thing. So here now we fought Dry Bones in a Rex before, now we're fighting a Beanie in a Rex. It's like, there's only 3 enemies here, but they're mixing them up as many ways as possible. Like, next time we might get a 2 Dry Bones in a Rex instead of... Or, I don't think there's... At any point, I think the maximum amount of enemies you can have on screen at this point is actually 4. But I seem to remember there being one specifically placed enemy that never changed when it respawned, where it was like 1 of each and 2 of one of them. I don't remember how it worked. As you can see, the moving tornadoes, you just do that. It's not too hard. There's got to be a thing over here. There's got to be a thing over here. There's always a thing over here. There is not a thing over here. I'm sad because there's always a thing over here, but there wasn't a thing over here. That makes me very stressfulized out. These guys I can totally skip if I just time this proper. Well, at least I got the first strike. I mean, there we go. That was the mini-boss-like thing I was speaking of. I mean, I guess if Hoohoo was the mini-boss, it's like a micro-boss, if that's a thing. I think I've used the term micro-boss in Skyward Sword at some point. I might have even in Super Mario Galaxy, but I don't know why I would have, since there are no mini-bosses, so there wouldn't be a need for micro-bosses. But I mean, in a Zelda game, a micro-boss could really be considered any enemy that doesn't go down in one hit, so it actually makes sense to say it for Skyward Sword. But yeah, I always remembered those guys. Those guys gave me a trouble or two in a first attempt, just because I wasn't used to dealing with so many enemies at once. Not really that I died or anything. I died only like 4 or 5 times in my whole preview file thing, which is good for me, I guess, but not good for you, because there's going to be a considerably smaller amount of rage than one would anticipate from one of my LPs. That's not really saying anything about me, just the fact that I'm actually decent at a game, for once, is a thing. The fact that I have a thing is a thing. That's not what I meant. Take that one as you will. Take it inside of you because I said thing. Yeah, I'm so smart. So I was wrong. You could not just cheat your way through there, but it gave me items if you went through the right way, and... Oh my god, are we at the top of the mountain already? I forgot how short this place is. Right after the my thing speech. But anyway, there's a telescope here where you can look at this expertly hand-drawn map of the Bean Bean Kingdom here that shows, like, all the detail, makes things look so realistic. Like, look, that's Bean Bean Castle right there. When we get to Bean Bean Castle in 2 or 3 episodes, you will see exactly what Bean Bean Castle actually looks like. It looks nothing like that. I think this was pretty much an oversight, and that platform there by the red building, we're going to get to go to that platform eventually. And it's going to be so disproportionately small compared to what it looks like from here. And these places across the ocean, when we get there, they're so much further away than they actually look. It just, For a game that looks very good by Game Boy Advance standards, at least I think so. Not necessarily very good realistically, that's kind of a disappointment. But anyway, I'm going to use some more of my already ridiculously high stock of mushrooms. See, high mushrooms, I made a funny. Or was that legitimate wordplay? That might have been legitimate wordplay. I think I'm actually upgrading myself from bad puns to bad real wordplay. So, with this thing over with, I think next episode we're going to, go into the middle of that area full of really creepy smiling faces. Till then, I'm LeaderofLuxinape, signing off.